Good morning, everybody. I toast to you and all you do. I hope you're having a fantastic day. The full moon is coming up. I know this video is going up a little bit late. The full moon is tomorrow night or Saturday morning, depending on where you are. So here in Colorado, it's at 8:37 p.m. tomorrow, the 23rd. And that moon is in Aquarius. So there's a lot of flowing energy right now. Let's see. Oh, it's weird. So I haven't been making videos lately. Not like because I don't want to, but just because I'm exhausted and busy and working on all this other stuff. And it's just hard to sit down and take this time to make these videos. I know that as soon as the season slows down and everything, I'll have more time for videos, and then you'll see a lot of them. So it'll probably be like a theme on my channel that like throughout the summertime and spring and even into the fall when we're harvesting and doing a bunch of work, I just don't have time to sit down and make videos. And so I'm here. If you have questions, if you need things, you can always reach out. You can ask on YouTube, or you can reach out on Instagram or Twitter. I wouldn't say I'm active on any social media just because I'm so busy and I'm not just one to sit there on my phone. I was telling my sister yesterday, so we just need to become those people who are always filming ourselves or always recording or taking pictures or doing whatever so that we have that stuff for footage. Because sometimes we're funny. And we have a lot of wisdom and stuff to share, and we do a lot of things. We're just not those people to like pull out a camera. I can totally see why other YouTubers, like as they get big, they have camera crews who like follow them around and record them. And that's how they get that. I guess I don't have enough of an entourage following me around to record me all the time. It would be so weird to me. Anyways. Too weird. All right. Anyways, let's get back to the full moon. So this July full moon is in Aquarius. This is... Let's see. This is the second full moon of summer. So that makes it the sturgeon moon or the wart moon. Now I know, again, so if you haven't been following along with the other full moons, this year's full moons seem a little off, just because of how late they're coming in the month and how they line up with the solstices and the equinoxes. You have to take into consideration the whole cycle of the year and where all of the moons fall and whatnot, and how that all comes down to actually identify the moon and what moon we're in and where we're at in the moon's lunar cycle, like over the year. So right now we are on the sturgeon moon or the wart moon. We're getting closer to the harvest. Lammas is almost here. It's just, I'm sorry, I'm reading over this information. The last moon of spring is in June. Yeah. So it's just because of where the full moons are lining up with the solstices. And since that full moon of June came after the summer solstice, that made it the first moon of the summer, which is that buck moon. So now we are on to the second moon, which puts us at the wart moon. And this is an early harvest time. So I'm going to be going out here soon and doing another round of collection on all of my herbs. My lemon balm is way too tall. I just let it go. My marjoram, I let it go to flower, just because I've never let marjoram go to flower before. And so it's also really big and needs to be harvested. So we're going to be doing a bunch of that. I'll be making some smudge sticks out of all of the sage we're going to harvest under this full moon. So this is just another great moon for harvesting those herbs, for harvesting early tree fruits, for harvesting, late blooming flowers. I've got sunflowers that are wild sunflowers that are coming up. over at the farmhouse, we have more sunflowers that are just starting to bloom, like actually open. We've been waiting and waiting and waiting. We're like, we think they're sunflowers. We see they look like sunflowers, these plants that we have over there. They're growing all over the place, but they just weren't blooming. It's just funny. And now finally we're at the height of summer and they're blooming. The sunflowers, they represent the sun and the energy with the sun and connecting with the sun. So you see them move with the sun throughout the day. You see that they waited this long until the sun is so ripe with energy and just abundance that now they're ready to open. So those are great things to collect under this full moon. And just kind of taking stock of what you have and what you're collecting and what's going to be collecting soon. This is also a really good time for fertilizing. If you are growing fruits and vegetables or anything like that, even your herbs, you have to remember to put the nutrients back into the soil. If you're not doing like green fertilizer, like planting plants throughout the winter time that'll nurture the soil. I like to use spinach a lot. It has great nutrient qualities. We don't eat it. We just plant it in the beds in the wintertime. And then come summertime, I just turn it back in. And because it's cold in winter, it never gets very big. It just stays little tiny baby lettuce or spinach. But it's got a lot of good nutrients when you turn it back into the soil. So if you're not doing those kind of things, you just have to make sure that you're adding nutrients back to your soil. Even your house plants need to be fed. So this is a great time to do that because there's so much sun and energy and they're getting all of this go. So you give them a little food. So in your gardens and in your house plants and stuff like that, this is a great time to harvest and to give nutrients and make sure that you're watering enough. You have to balance out the hot of this summer with some water, just like we did on the summer solstice, kind of bring in that energy. And this Aquarius moon is going to do that amazingly. So right now, as we shift into Leo, we're feeling that, some people like to consider it as an arrogance energy, but it's not. Just because someone knows that they're in charge and knows that they're the leader and knows that they are protecting and taking care of the people around them doesn't mean that they have to be cocky or arrogant or like big-headed. Leo's energy is the noble father, the wise lion who watches over his people. Bestowing that leadership, those good leadership qualities. And so you can feel that right now as this energy shifts. You feel those leadership qualities in yourself. And so it's a good time to reflect on what kind of leader you are and what you're doing. And then countering that with the Aquarius flowing energy, this emotional, flowing, also abundance though. So we have all of this abundance. We're in the height of summer where we have Leo the king, we have Aquarius with the flowing water energy, and everything is just flowing forth with this abundance. And so you're going to feel a lot of that strength, enthusiasm for what you're doing. Like, I'm doing this and I'm succeeding and I'm receiving this abundance. Again, working on manifestations. This is a great manifestation moon. It's going to help you manifest those things that you need. The leadership qualities, the raise at work, the promotion, the new job, the new business, all of those things. This is a great time to reflect on what it is that you need to do to achieve those goals. And with the energy between the sun and the moon, it's really going to highlight that and help you see what it is that you need to do and what qualities about yourself you really need to work on, or you need to highlight, or you need to let go of in order to really achieve those goals. So, achieving, manifesting, this is the kind of magic that's going on right now. Simultaneously, we have lots of other things going on. Oh my God, oh no. It's a sign because we're reprinting this book soon, and I just spilt coffee all over my nice copy. This is the one copy that I haven't written in yet. It was when we were still Hesperida's Garden. This was the final copy of this book. I just wipe it off in the grass. Hold on. Sorry, this morning I was thinking, I said, to finish this book and have it ready for when we go to Pagan Pride, we just have a couple more things that need to be done. We want to add some myths. We've done a bunch of rearranging and cleaning up and whatnot. But I just baptized it in my coffee. Anyways, it's so funny to me. I'm sorry. Okay. Right. So we're talking about success and abundance and all of those things. And that's with the season and with Leo, and we're in this July moon. And then if we go just to the energy of Aquarius, like I said, this is a flowing energy of... This book is just not cooperating with me today. It really wants to be rewritten and republished so that we can reshare all of this information. We have all this great information, and just sitting in this book that's not doing anything, and sometimes that's really frustrating for me. I guess that's manifesting in this video, because I want to manifest the final version so that I can share this information with everybody. But anyways, so the Aquarius full moon, this energy is hopeful, it's flowing, it's abundance. Again, it has to do with growth and groups and coming together around the watering hole and flowing forth with this energy. It also is really connected to our emotions and our dream work and intuitive nature. So it can be used to, flow inside and flow and do some introspection and some reflective work. If an Aquarius moon comes on the other half of the year, I always recommend doing shadow work. You can do shadow work now. The Leo moon, the Leo sun countering the Aquarius moon can help to illuminate from the sun and that powerful energy into your shadow self, where you flow with that Aquarius energy and kind of help find that balance, especially if it's something that's new to you. If you don't do a lot of shadow work, this actually is a great time because it'll be like light shadow work. There's a lot of, it's just not the dark time. So it's like stepping through the veil, I guess I would say. You can step through the veil right now into your shadow self and do some of that work and kind of illuminate that and see it from a different perspective. See it like a father would see it. With that Leo energy, and that can be in a more nurturing, softer kind of way, which can help you if you've never done shadow work before, if you're new to shadow work. If you do shadow work often, it can be good because you're seeing it through a different perspective instead of seeing it through your own, like, this is my shadow norm. You can see it through that different perspective of Leo, and it can highlight some things that you didn't know. It's funny, there's so much talk about shadow work. When 5 years ago, 3 years ago, even 2 years ago, it wasn't like something I didn't see it all the time in videos. People didn't talk about it all the time. It was a, what is this, kind of thing. And through COVID and being on quarantine and dealing with these darker things and having to face our own insecurities, we really kind of highlighted that. And I think as a society right now, with the way that the planets are in the cosmos, and we've got Eris doing all of these things, really pointing it out. And I feel like the energy that Eris is putting on the cosmos right now is like she threw the golden apple in the middle of the table and she said, figure it out. And that's what she does. I don't think it's about vanity necessarily, like she did with the goddesses when she said whoever is the fairest can have this apple. I think she threw the apple out and was like, I'm putting the apple out there for whoever is righteous, whoever is right, whoever is doing the right thing, who knows. I guess righteous really isn't higher. Who is taking the higher ground? Who is doing this, letting go of the petty and, really pointing out that petty behavior. I see that a lot. I imagine that there are a lot of people out there who have lost friends over the last 2 years, gotten into it with family, lost so much loss. But in that loss, it really highlighted the petty behavior where you're like, that's not worth it anymore to me. And every time you let that go, you're getting another piece of that golden apple. You're getting more of that higher ground, that knowledge. And in that, you are reflecting on your shadow self, because your shadow self is saying, those things are petty. Those things we don't need to survive. Those things are superficial. And I know a lot of times when we're like shadow work, you think negative. It's all the bad things about myself. And that's not true. When you think about your shadow self, you think about your primal self. You think about your pure self without the assumptions of this reality. You think about the person your soul brings with you. Like when your soul moves from body to body throughout life to life, your shadow self comes with that. It's a piece of your soul. It's part of who you are. And however it changes, based off of who you are in each life, it's still that same primal energy that comes with you from back before we were civilized people. Your soul or pieces of that energy have been a part of this universe since before the Big Bang. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. It is only transformed. So the energy that makes up you, the collective that keeps your molecules in their present state and makes you, has been around since we don't know how long, but can't go back that far. We can assume, we can make educated guesses, we can make great assumptions, but we don't know. We do know, though, that you cannot create or destroy that energy, so it just keeps going and flowing. So your shadow self is a connection to that primal energy, and it's not the negative things about you. Society has taught us that our passions and our drive and our sexual desires and our urge to survive can be considered negative. But that's not true. That's a societal norm put on us by the church and by Christian normalities. In America and in most of the world, Puritans, Christians, have what has created our modern society, and therefore many of our values are based off of that. So we're taught by the church and by society that these primal, passionate, natural parts of ourself are bad, and that's not true. So you have to let go of that when you're doing shadow work. And the Leo moon can really help you to see that. They can help, or not Leo moon, the Leo sun can help you in this Aquarius moon to see that, to highlight this flow of energy, to help you see how your primal self, your shadow self, your other side flows with who you are. When you find that you are having conflicts all the time in your brain and you're like, I am so stressed out all the time, I don't know how to make a choice, I can't make decisions, I can't do these things, it's normally because your shadow self and your day-to-day self are so conflicted that they can't even function together. And so you gotta take a step back and make them work together again. Bring those back to be your whole self. Maybe you need some soul healing. This would be a great time for that. Soul healing can be really powerful. It's a very potent energy. And it's not something that's going to start right away, but this Leo moon or Leo sun with the Aquarius moon can really help to illuminate your soul and for you to see those things. Start with healing your soul from troubles in this lifetime. And then when you feel like you've healed from this lifetime, you can maybe try to work on past lives. Or things that you have carried with you throughout the lives that are part of what makes your shadow self your shadow self. I know personally for me, from my past lives and even from my trauma in this life, but there is this heavy weight on my soul of feeling normalized to do and act and be in a certain way. And in healing my hurts from this life, it highlights where the pattern is, I guess. So it's easy to fall into a pattern and we do it in our day-to-day lives, and we do it over eternity. So when you start to realize those patterns that are hurtful in your day-to-day life, maybe you have a coping mechanism that's not healthy. Maybe you have a self-destructive thing. I'm constantly asking myself, why is it when I want to reward myself and do something great, I'm like, let's do something destructive, like stay up all night and whatever. I don't do drugs or party anymore, so that's not even a thing. But back in the day, that would have been it. Like, oh, we're going to celebrate. Let's go party and hurt ourselves. Do damage. So that's how you honor yourself. No. But as you create those behaviors and you look at those behaviors and you see what is driving that, and then you begin to heal that. And then you realize, oh, it was so easy for me to slip into those patterns because that is a behavior that I've carried with me or that has come through lifetimes or whatever. But this time right now where we have so much light from it being the light side of the year can really help to illuminate those things that you need to see in your shadow self. So you can use this moon that's coming up to do that. Sit underneath the full moon and call on the energies of Aquarius and Leo and summertime and the God and the Father energy and the Mother energy with the moon and say, hey, I have all of these paternal energies, matriarch energies, like parental, that's a better word. I have all of these parental energies all around me. Do some healing with that. Maybe you have a relationship issue with your own parents. Maybe you have a problem with that. And maybe that's what you need to focus on. And heal those parental relationships. And it's funny because I could hear it. Even though you guys aren't watching this video yet. I know that there are people out there who are watching the video. And when I said heal those parental relationships, they instantly were like, well, that would take me talking to my parents. That would take me having a relationship with my parents. No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. The only reason that I'm able to maintain a relationship with my mother now, after all of the years of, problems that we had and a troubled childhood, blah, 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 and all of that drama, is because while she was off dealing with herself, trying to get sober and figure out her life and do what she was doing, I decided that I was going to forgive that. I was going to forgive the hurts. I was going to let go of that. I was going to heal my paternal relationship, my maternal relationship, because it was time. It was time for me to heal. And because I had done that, then it made it okay when she was ready and she had gone through counseling and therapy and drug treatment and all of the things that she needed to do was like, okay, I want to have family counseling. I was already at a place where I had forgiven that. And I was like, that's fine. If you want to talk about this, we can talk about this. And we were able to now have a relationship. I talk to her regularly, and she's my mom. I love her. I like her now. We didn't always get along, but now we do, and things are better. But it's not because we sat down and had counseling. It was because I decided that I wanted to heal that relationship, and I was ready to move on from that. And so whatever relationship it is that you're carrying with you, maybe it's a grandparent or a parent or an old boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever it may be, it doesn't take the two of you sitting down to have that conversation. What it takes is you sitting down with yourself and deciding, why is it that my feelings are hurt? Okay, what am I learning from this situation? What coping mechanisms have I created in order to protect myself from this in the future? Are those coping mechanisms productive? Are they helping or hurting me? Okay, and start looking at those different things so that you can be like, okay, I'm going to let go of this now. I'm going to release this into the universe. I'm going to say my piece, not to the person, but to the universe. This is how I feel, and I'm ready to move forward. We are, for some reason, taught at some point by society that you need somebody else there to say, I did this to you and it's all my fault, for you to feel better. But hearing those words from someone does not make you feel better. In fact, I was talking to my mom the other day and she was feeling very remorseful and she was being very apologetic about a situation that happened when I was a kid. And she just was apologizing. And I was like, you don't have to, like, okay, I hear what you're saying. I hear your remorse. But I've already moved on past that. Like, there's no reason for us to sit here and go over this bad day over and over again. I see that you're feeling your remorse. I appreciate that you see the problem that this caused and the long-term damage and all of that stuff. But honestly, I already let go of it. And I've already moved on from that. And there is nothing that can change it. It is what, like, I don't know, I guess when I say this to people, they're like, well, that's not how you really feel. But it is what it is. You can't go back and change the past. You can't turn it into something else. And no matter what, like somebody coming and saying, here's a better example because it makes more sense. Whatever. When you're in a relationship with someone and they've cheated on you, okay? When you find out that they cheated on you, you feel the betrayal, you're mad. When you confront them about it, it doesn't matter if they say, yes, I cheated on you, or no, I didn't cheat on you. You don't believe the words that come out of their mouth. Because if they say, yes, I'm sorry, I cheated on you, your brain and your assumptions just say, they did more. And it doesn't matter how many times your spouse says to you, I'm sorry, I only cheated on you one time. It was an accident. I got drunk. They took advantage of me, whatever it is. Or even if they cop to it and they say, you know what? I thought they were really sexy. I couldn't control myself. They came on to me. I came on to them. It just happened in the heat of the moment. And I'm really, really sorry. But I love you and I want to be with you. And I realized, even saying all those things, it doesn't matter what they say to you. Unless you decide that you're going to move on from that, it doesn't matter. Because you have to be the one to make that choice. You have to say, okay, I accept that they cheated on me. I accept that we're going to move forward. And I accept at face value what they've said to me. Maybe they said to you, I want to be in a relationship with other people. I want an open relationship. Or maybe they said to you, I'm never going to do that again. Whatever it may be, you have to be able to move forward with that. And it doesn't matter what words they say to you. We've all been in a relationship where somebody has harmed us. Them coming and saying, I'm sorry, doesn't make it better. And therefore, that shouldn't be dependent on you healing from that situation. So instead of holding on to this thought, like I need them to tell me that they wronged me in order for me to move on, let go of that. If you're ready to move on, then move on. Accept that this is what happened. This is the lesson that I've learned from it. Why did it make me feel that way? How can I deal with this in the future? How can I recognize these symptoms in the future? I was telling my sister the other day, I said, damn, we'd be really good police officers. We come from a world of drug addicts and crazies and scandals and just all kinds of stuff. So when we're driving down the street, we can see that. Like, you just know because you've seen it. It's part of your life. It's part of your upbringing. You know, like when I watched a prostitute pick up a John the other day and ask her pimp for permission to get in the car and get approval or price or whatever it was. They had like hand signals. She like did some things. It was like, and he said, yeah, go. It was really, really funny. I was just like, oh my God. Like at this gas station, I'm like looking around. I'm like, did other people see that or is it just me? Because that was so crazy. But you have to be able to move forward. You have to be able to just accept, like, this is what life is. And I don't need people to be apologetic to me. I don't need, someone to come and tell me I did wrong because we already know what's wrong. You just have to be able to move forward. So, what a random tangent. Anyways, so this Aquarius full moon can help you flow with those feelings. Let them out, let them go, figure it out and move forward and not hold on to that anger. And another thing, the reason that this is going to be such a great time for that. So, when we hit a full moon, they come into the degrees and you see people who get really into astrology and all of the degrees and the angles and the numbers. So this Aquarius full moon is at 1 degree, which means it is a new beginning. So this is a great time for you to let go of those things and start that new beginning, to give that forgiveness you need to give and move on, to learn those lessons, to heal, to see, to know, and to be able to go forward. I just want to make sure I cover everything. Sorry, I just went on this huge tangent about healing because that's the energy going on right now. We also have the asteroid Caraclo, which is a very large asteroid, and it is a healing asteroid. This brings in this great healing energy. So like as it comes closer to the Earth and into our atmosphere, not our atmosphere, into our universal energy, our solar system energy, I guess, it's bringing this healing energy. It's like the doctor who comes in is like, la-di-da, I'm here to heal. So tap into that healing energy and let it help you heal. Let it be the medicine that you need. Let it highlight the things that you need to know in order to heal and move forward. We also have Cryon in retrograde right now. And Cryon is another asteroid, but it's the largest asteroid in the asteroid belt. And so right now it's entering into its retrograde. Now in Egyptian mythology, Cryon is Anubis. Cryon is this, the death god, the resurrection. That's the word. In Greek mythology, Cryon is the wandering healer. He is this noble, wise, not Minotaur? No, not a Minotaur. Maybe a Minotaur. Half horse, half person? Centaur. He's a centaur. And he brings this wisdom. I'm here with great wisdom. I am here again as a wandering healer. So we have these two healing asteroids that are bringing in that healing energy. We have the flowing energy of the Aquarius full moon. All of this stuff is saying, hey, look at the problems. See your situation. Really reflect on where you are and who you are and what you're doing and how you're feeling and all of that stuff. And almost like be okay with that. I'm reminded of the prayer. I wish we had more norming and praying in prayer. But the AA prayer of help me to accept that which I cannot change and to change the things that I can. And that's the energy that's kind of right now. So as this healing energy comes in, as this flowing energy, as the illuminating energy of Leo, all of these things kind of come together as here is your life. And here is where you need healing. And here is where you need acceptance. And here is where you need learning. And so start to make your plan. Start to see. Start to take in account and be accountable so that you can manifest what you want. When we're not accountable for what we have, we're not going to manifest what we want because we're not being accountable. Like, they go hand in hand. But with all of these astrological energies, you feel that support right now that you need. That's why I said it's a good time to heal those paternal relationships, because we have that paternal energy coming from the universe. You don't necessarily need it from your parents in order to feel it. You have it from the universe, the Mother Goddess and the Father God and the Leo Lion and the asteroids that are coming in with Cryon and I can't see this one. Looking at it doesn't help me because it's not an English word. It's a Greek word. Caraclo. But they're bringing in all of this healing energy.